Alright, here we are 12 months on from the original film I made after the drought and the fires. Let's go have a look at what's happened in 12 months. I'm going to take you on the same path that we went the original one. And let's just have a look what's going on. We've just had a few hundred mil of rain in the last couple of days. You can see here the silt trap has caught quite a bit of silt from the water coming down, hits that silt trap first, overflows. You can see the water gets cleaner here, comes down. There's another small silt trap here just to catch any last remaining silt, which has not much in it anyway. And then it all comes down here, spreads out, and then down into the large pond here, which we have had some issues with holding water. We've reworked it again. We're going to keep persevering because it has such a great potential to be a beautiful body of water. So we want to do our best to preserve that water and keep it here on the block. Now, when that pond fills over, feeding in from that side there, up the back of the hill, all through the back of the orchard. The overflow comes down here. Anything that's not caught up the back comes down. And even though we've had 300 mil of rain in the last couple of days, we've got another entry over there which feeds in. I'll just show you. So this catches any water that goes down the left side of the flat up there. Even though we've had 300 mil of rain in the last couple of days, no water has left the block yet on this side. We haven't even reached overflow yet on this side because this is the spillway here, so the water just laps very gently over and then spills out into the scrub down there. So you can see how you can really hold back the water. And it's only a small bit of water and we're only on a small block, but on a large scale you could see how this could benefit the overall catchment if more properties did this on a larger scale. It keeps the water higher up in the catchment. Alright, let's go back and see where this water comes from, like we did last time. You'll notice quite a bit of change. We've done a fair bit of work up in the orchard. I'll better show you the veggie growing boxes as well. They're all productive at the moment. Some of them are empty. Blueberries, corn, cucumbers, everything's kind of loving the rain at the moment. Some things are just going to seed. A few lemons on the tree there. Coming up with chicken pens going in here shortly. So this, we haven't slowed down yet. This will all be terraced. There'll be terrace steps all the way up here. This will just slow that down, but really this time we really haven't had any erosion. This spot here was a bad spot for erosion because it was very root matted with large roots from these big trees and couldn't really grow much there. Wasn't even growing grass well, so we've terraced that with a series of straw bale terraces. So they're nice and easy to work because we're dealing with flat terraces in between, and they really again slow the water down. Alright, coming up, this is the same path we went the last time. Now you'll notice everything has grown a lot. This stuff really works. We do a little bit of hand watering through the dry periods, but otherwise this stuff really looks after itself, especially when you get these big rains. So I've put in a few terraces since last time, which have really, actually, I've noticed have held back the water, because the water's not running off, which was used to be about a 30-degree slope there. It's now actually soaking in. So this one here, this one's actually not filling up as much, which is fine, because these are just infiltration ponds, so they don't necessarily have to hold water. We might seal them in 5 years down the track when this whole orchard's closed canopy and we've got plenty of moisture up here, and we're sitting on a more permanent kind of moisture level. But for now, we're just going to let them soak in. So you can see this one's full up, and it would have just overflowed about half an hour ago. But you can see how quick everything soaks in. After the big downpours, these fill up with water. All these swales at the bottom of these terraces, and it all just soaks in. Everything just soaks in. Very little water actually gets down from here, unless you get a real big downpour where you get large amounts of runoff. But even then, it runs down into that drain and into the pond. So you can really see the growth on this stuff. It's really taken off. Now, another part of the water system on this block is rain harvesting with roofs and tanks, and a big part of that is these header tanks. We have about 9 meters ahead, which gives us plenty of pressure in the house, and we've got about 10,000 litres up here, which we fill up about once a fortnight. We fill up on a sunny day via an electric pump that's run off solar, so it's all renewable energy, and it's all renewable and free water pressure. So as we go down the other side of the block, where we go more into our zone 5, where the wild space is kind of left to itself, it acts as a beautiful filter to the water that comes down from the top of that hill up there. We've got a reasonable catchment above us, because all the water from that hill comes down, and we slow it down wherever we can. So as we come down this side, we've moved some of these swales further into this zone 5 area, but we won't go much further than this. And as we come down, you see the water on this side of the block is now, it's a different colour. It's a lot more filtered. It's a lot more cleaner to start with, purely from the filtering through just the natural biology behind it, which is a great thing. And in the other video, you would have noticed that we had water coming down here that was spilling past down there around the tank. Well, we've now diverted that with a series of little diversions, just little terrace diversions. Those lamandras will establish, and they'll form an ice break, which will actually funnel the water this way down behind the bank there, and then into this small pond, or large pond, small dam. And you can see the spillway there, and this lovely swale here, which holds about between 5,000 and 7,000 litres of water here. When that ponds fill up, it backflows into the swale, and then the swale has a level sill on it, and you can see how it overflows here very passively down there, and leaves the block down there. And we have so much water on this side of the block that we are going to put another pond here. This will be a good sized pond, which will catch most of this excess runoff as well. But yeah, it's all working. Even the growth on these you wouldn't have seen last time. never watered them. It's that bank there with that water behind it. That water will sit there for about 3 days, and it just sweeps out the bottom. It'll hydrate this bank for months, even if we don't get any rain. Really, really works. Now, since having that pond down the bottom, I've managed to cut a few extra drains in to send the water down here, down this drain, down through the culvert here, under the driveway, another cut here to take the water away from that drain there, over to this drain, and then once we get on this side, everything's feeding into this pond. So we can catch everything from that left side of that drain there, and then we leave the rest to be caught by the pond and the swale up there on the left. But everything on the house block, on the house pad up there, is feeding down and coming in to this entry, to this pond. We did a bit of rock work on the back of the cut there of the pond, so we over-ordered on a few rocks, but we can make good use of them, and they'll be a nice addition to somewhere else. Or we might just spread them around here. And that's how it all works. And that's what it looks like when you have a bit of a vision for keeping water on the block and slowing it down. It really does add to the beauty of the block, and adds to the fertility, and I can't recommend it more than enough. All right, thank you.